Today we celebrate the people who build futures, shape minds, and somehow manage to do it with passion, patience, and a sense of humour.
It's World Teachers' Day. Well, thank you both so much for joining us. And today I've got Jennifer and I've got Pam, two of our fantastic teachers, educators for Humley. Can I just start off by asking, just give a little bit of your background, who you are, and how long you've been in the profession?
I'm Pam, and I'm a mixture really. I started off on supply, primary trained, but then ended up working in secondary, in SEN, and then worked the last 5 years on supply, primary and secondary in SEN, so total mix really, so very flexible. That's me.
Brilliant. And the same for you, Jennifer.
So quite similar. I've been in teaching for about coming up 20 years now,
Yeah.
which feels like a very long time. Some mixture of supply work and then contracted work, and then I've just joined Humley this year.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic to hear. And I mean, just to start off with, then, kind of again, just you go first, Pam. What's the typical day look like for you then?
Well, a typical day, you just try and get up, it depends obviously if you've got a call on or not, but
Yeah.
if you're getting up and making sure you're organised, always have like a bag ready, just with a few bits in, just in case you need any like little fillers or any, things to use in the classroom, and then just head off, make sure they're in reasonable time. And just when you get there, just making sure you introduce yourself, check everything out, get all the information, and then you get and take in the classroom, and then just seeing what you need to do really, what your role is. I mean, a lot of places, obviously they're stressed, they need staff or whatever, so you're going through the day and you check with other staff and things like that, but you're just trying to do that role in with those children at that time, just going through the day with them and just keeping it as smooth as you can really. And obviously you don't know a great deal about them, but you can just try and just use your experience and talk to them and just try and make sure the day goes well, and make sure that you've kind of followed as close as possible to what the plan was, and just that's how I do it.
Yeah, no, definitely the same for you, Jennifer.
Very similar. I think in supply there's no one typical day. You can show up and think that you're going to be in one year group, but they might change it over and that you're in a different year group, so you have to really be adaptable and just go with the flow very much. So a typical day, similar, just getting up ready, making sure you've got everything sorted for the day, and then just taking it as it comes when you arrive at the school, just making sure you've got everything you need, and just trying to enjoy the day, I think, is the most thing.
Yeah, absolutely, isn't it?
And just on that, is that kind of the jobs been coming through on the app on the morning, or have you been getting a phone call from Humley? How did the work come through for yourselves?
It just depends really. It just depends on kind of, I would just get a call sometimes, and then just head off, or sometimes it'll just be booked in. It just totally depends. I have done it on the app, and I've kind of selected it, and then I'll just have to check where I'm going.
Definitely.
Did you feel like you get all the information beforehand before going out on an assignment?
Mine's usually pre-booked, so that tends to work better for me.
So you know where you're going and you can prepare yourself or do a little bit more research on the school.
Yeah, definitely.
Then just following, what's something that most people won't realise about your role, sort of being a teacher? What do you think people wouldn't fully understand?
I would say definitely what we were talking about before, about sometimes you can walk in and it's just you get a lot of information thrown at you all at once.
A bit overwhelming.
Every school is very similar but also very different, with various procedures, safeguarding things, so you have to take everything on board very quickly.
You've got to be really
and be
quick.
ready.
You've got to be quick, and you've just got to adapt, haven't you?
And
you might be told you were meant to have these kids in assembly 10 minutes ago, and you say, well, I can only do what you told me to do. So things like that, and then I just make sure I write everything down if I need to. Just in my little notes, and just but you're talking a lot as well. You're talking to the children, like there's a lot of, you're talking to the staff, you're talking like a lot, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. It's always a busy day. It always flies over.
Yeah.
I feel like you just have so much to remember, especially if it's just day-to-day
Yeah.
work. And just so usually you have a plan, and usually the teacher will have left you.
Yeah.
You can be in some places and you can be really well prepared. In other places, they haven't had the time to prepare, so you've just got to just go with it. It's it really is so
Or
different
it might
everywhere
be
you go.
like, this is on here, on this laptop, on here.
Yeah, it's passwords. Yeah,
It's not on or something. Or
Yeah.
this work should be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm hunting around on the desk and it's not there. So then I just
Yeah.
go, right, children, this is what we're doing. But it'll be related, obviously.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, so you do have to think on your feet a lot, don't
Definitely.
you?
Yeah.
And do you think there's any difference, you know, doing day-to-day to short-term and long-term roles? Is there any difference in kind of your approach to planning, I guess, and just is there a different feel to it? You know, doing different schools every day, or you're in one specific school for like a long-term position. Is there any difference in that?
Yeah,
I would definitely say so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely
massive, yeah.
day to day. You don't get to build up the relationships with the children and the
Yeah.
staff, and it's very different. Whereas if you're on long term placement, you get to know them, and then you can just take it and do it your way, kind of thing, and you have the class kind of a little bit more under your control, and it's a little bit easier. Definitely, I think day to day is harder. But also it's that flexibility that you want if you need the flexibility. So it's kind of bit of a pros and cons to both.
And what kinds of then what part of the job then gives you the most joy?
I think it's probably when you get to know them, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
But then sometimes you can go in and you can have a really good day, and just having that interaction, I think.
Yeah.
Even on day to day, you're having that interaction, and it might just be one day, but that child's going to remember it well. You know, when they go home and things like that.
Yeah.
Because it can be such a busy environment, can't it? And just having that little interaction, it can make all the difference, can't it?
Yeah, it's definitely the children. You have, you know, every single one of them is different, and so you just get days where you just have one that will stand out and you'll remember them that day, and it's just that is the best bit of it, really,
And I think as well,
keeps us coming
sometimes
back.
Yeah, absolutely.
sometimes you're going in and they haven't had a teacher for a while, so it's like makes a big difference. So I've been in the last 5 years, you know, been at a school and they said, well, all our teachers leave us, you know, and I says, well, I'm not leaving, I'm here till July.
Yeah.
I'm like, I am here till July, and they go, are you miss? I says, yes, I'm here till July, so you can stop doing that and you can get on with this. And it's just getting that rapport with them, really. So you feel for them because they need that. They need that relationship. And when they've had a lot of teachers go, they can be a bit like, well, are you really here? And when you're saying, well, and you're getting to know them, it makes a big difference.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I think you've just nailed some of the head there, because sometimes supply teachers can be looked at as just to fill the gap, whereas actually supply isn't just all about that. You know, supply can be a long term. You know,
definitely.
you can find a long term placement through it, which then can go into a permanent position. So, it's not just that day to day that. You know, especially at home, we offer
Building a relationship with the schools as well.
Yeah,
You'll be the same.
And I think getting to know different schools as well,
Yeah.
and where you think you would fit quite well as well.
Yeah.
It's definitely
Yeah,
it's good to be like a taster of a school.
No two schools are the same, are they? Really, absolutely not.
No.
And they're really grateful as well.
Yeah.
Like, they're really you know, especially when kind of, you know, they need to fill that role and, you know, and they really want those children obviously to have that connection and to have that experience because, you know, that's how they progress, really.
Absolutely. And what part of the job do you think you're finding the most challenging? Sort of being on supply, being a supply teacher.
I would probably say it's just it's very quiet sometimes. So there's definitely periods where it's quieter than throughout the year. That is so now it's a little bit quiet, but I know it'll pick up again.
Yeah.
So it's maybe that I would say it's sometimes just the I don't know what the word is.
Like the demand.
Yeah. I would say that would probably be mine.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I think it can
But you're on somewhere long term. Oh.
Not at the moment.
Oh, okay.
But it can be tricky. But I think it can be tricky sometimes with some of the attitudes, I would say sometimes. Like, you know, what are you here for, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't get that much, to be fair. I think it's been pretty good on the whole in staff rooms and things.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, like I said, it is different everywhere.
So try not to talk too much in the staff room. Try not to talk too little, because I think because you've got to make some impression.
Yeah.
But you don't want to be too over the top.
I was going to say, it's still important, isn't it, to sort of gain opportunities within the wider community of the school. You're not just a teacher in the classroom, you're there building relationships with other members of staff, helping out when you need to after school, and sort of doing all the prep if you were there, either long term or short term, isn't it?
And adapting to their needs. It can be hard, but at the same time, you know, if they need you somewhere else, then they need you somewhere else. So, and you just kind of got to go with it, and then it does give them a good impression if you can go and just go somewhere else. And,
And I think something we take extremely seriously at Humbly and put a lot into is kind of how we look after ourselves. That could be physically and mentally. And I think it is, you know, there's a lot of pressure on teachers and kind of educational staff. So the question is kind of, how do you guys look after yourselves during like a busy term? You know, what do you do kind of to step away as well, instead of just, you know, spending all your nights planning until the early hours?
I think, I mean, for me particularly, I tried to keep more part-time hours, so definitely keeping a couple of days free a week I think is definitely key for me. I've worked full-time in the past, and then after having my own family, it's definitely part-time is a lot easier to manage. So at the moment I know that that's going to be the case, and then later on it's hopefully go back to sort of full-time situation, but definitely from week to week, and depending on the time of the year, it's definitely thinking about what your hours are, I think, more than anything for me.
Well, I do try and keep fit.
Yeah.
So I do go to my gym classes and things like that.
Yeah.
And just trying to switch off, like, it can be hard.
Yeah, definitely.
And especially, like I say, when you get really quite attached, so you want to do the best you can. But just having that bit of time, just kind of just making time to do what you want to do, really.
Yeah.
Just having a bit of trying to do my fitness.
Yeah.
And then, you know, that comes into it as well, because I'll say, you know, I've been my gym class this morning and taught the kids about it, you know. And so they sort of say, well, have you been at the gym? Have you? And you have a little chat like that, just with the older ones mainly, because they talk about what they do. And I say, well, you know, I'm a bit older than you. So, you know, it's...
it's all about finding the balance, isn't it, really?
And I think that's really good with how the Humbly app works, though. It's that flexibility. It's super simple to go onto the app and set your availability, so you're not getting disturbed. You have that time where you need to take a side, or if you just need to, you know, it's quite simple to put yourself as available, unavailable. So there's that. I think that the app helps in that way.
It does, definitely does. I've found that with this agency as well as others, it's definitely a lot more flexible, which is ideal for me.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, it's great. And just sort of looking at the bigger picture now, what do you think are some of the biggest challenges within education at the moment, and sort of education and teaching?
I think it's your recruitment, isn't it, and retention. Yeah,
definitely. It's interesting. I think I've been in teaching a long time, so when you talk to other people who have maybe done teaching for maybe 5, so the key number I think is 5 years, and then people leave. And it's sort of, you feel a bit like, well, I'm just a glutton for punishment, and I just keep going back. But I think it's not really that. I think you just know if that's kind of what you enjoy to do, and you enjoy working with children, then that's what you enjoy to do. But I think the challenges now are very different, I would say, compared to maybe even 15, 20 years ago. It's especially after COVID, I think there were a lot of issues, especially with the younger children, just really difficult. It depends on, again, like the school. There's a lot of, I think, I think with children sometimes it's a lot of communication or vocabulary, things like that, really specific areas to help children with. I feel like I've come up recently.
Definitely.
But definitely retention. Keeping people in.
Yeah, I mean, I was working with a lovely young teacher, and she was absolutely brilliant, and but she wasn't staying. And I was like, that's such a shame, because you're really good at this. But, you know, just trying to kind of, you know, they need to do something nationally about that, really.
I
But
think
there's a lot of schools trying to do as much as they can.
Yeah,
A lot of
definitely.
schools.
I think, I mean, because we'll have seen it, how it was previously, but it's definitely technology has a massive impact on children these days. So, and I see it with my own children, is that it's massively impacts a lot of different things. So it's kind of keeping a lid on that and just keeping it balanced as well. Whereas in the past, that's never been an issue, but it definitely is now.
Yeah.
You were saying that a teacher you've met who's looking to leave the profession? It's just a bit too much for them, or?
Yeah, well, she was looking to maybe go abroad or just come out altogether. So she was looking at a few different options.
Yeah.
And I really got to know her.
Yeah.
But she's not going to, you know, she was qualifying through the school and then she wasn't going to stay. So
it's a real shame because me and Ashley do a lot of events. We do a lot of presentations with universities, teacher training partnerships, and you can see when you first meet them, when they're doing the placements, the excitement and how much they want to be a teacher. And you know, I don't know what the statistics are, but I think it's quite quick of how people go into teaching and leave quite quickly. I mean, Ashley was a teacher herself who kind of.
The challenges now, I think, are just so much more than in the past, definitely.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It just, unfortunately, wasn't the path for me. I did a few years. I joined supply, and I did get offered permanent positions and things like that. But it didn't feel right to sort of, you need to give 100%, and at that time I could not give 100%. So yeah, it's one of those hard things when you get into the profession. I feel like you definitely need to be able to give 100% and commit to it, don't you?
Yeah, definitely.
And then obviously you either fly with it or you don't.
But I think as well, like, life gets in the way as well, and you know, like the flexibility of supplying with family is like you can pick and choose, and that's, for me at the minute, that is the key. But whereas I know eventually in the future again, I hopefully we'll be able to go back to full time if I feel like I want to go back to full time. I don't know. Once my kids are grown and grown, but you know, whether they'll be at home till they're 30, who knows?
Well, see, my trouble is my daughter's nearly 18, so
yes, as well.
I've
This is
got
it.
many excuses now.
Just following on from that, then, kind of, you're both still in the profession, which is fantastic for us and for schools. I mean, what keeps you in it then? Is there still that passion within you? You know, that you know.
I think it is, and I think it's just you know what your skills are, and sometimes I think often a lot of and friends as well who are teachers, it's sort of, you don't think that your skills can transfer elsewhere, but they absolutely can.
Yeah.
But it is definitely just you want to do a good job for the children, and that's kind of probably the main thing
It's
that
like when you
keeps
go
you in.
back. I mean, I'm going back to school tomorrow, and I know what like they'll remember us.
Yeah,
so that'll be really nice.
Yeah, it's lovely little moments like that, isn't it? It just makes it really rewarding. And
yeah, definitely. And you can just, like, have been in places for one day, and you'll have little notes given to you from the children, and like lovely little things like that just make it worthwhile. It is all for them, really.
And it's simple then, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know,
really is, especially now, I think.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just sort of both your experiences working in schools, whether it's been on supply when you have been in a permanent position, what's been a moment that you'll never forget? What's been one of those sort of memorable sort of things that's happened in school that will always stick in your mind?
Go on, I'll let you go.
Well, I was on long term at a school, at a secondary school, and I was teaching this SEN class, and I really got to know them, and I absolutely loved that class. I'll never forget that class. And again, they hadn't had, like, you know, the regular teacher. They were a little bit all over the place, and I taught that class, and then and I got so far with, like, the book we were doing, and I so got into it, and I was getting different props to help them, and we're doing all sorts we did, and they loved doing the plays, they loved reading out the plays, everything like that. And we did all sorts, we got so much done. And then it was quite sudden when I left. And two of the boys, I knew they would be a bit like, I says, well, actually, I think I wasn't really telling them. And then it got let out, some staff must have let out the bag, you know, and told them. I mean, I would have told them, but they got a bit of a shock, I think. And then they sat, and I didn't know what they were doing. And then they come at the end of the lesson, and they just made me a little card. They said, we didn't think we could do English until you came. And, I've still got it. And it was just like, you know, I was gutted to leave really, but that would come to an end. So
it's lovely little thoughtful gifts like that that you don't think you've made that much of an impression on them, but really you have, haven't you? You've done more than your job. You've made a long-lasting impression on them, which is lovely.
Having children myself, I can see it firsthand now, the kind of influence and that teachers have in it. To me, it's, if not one of the most important professions, personally, you know, and especially with kind of expectations that are nowadays for teaching. You know, there's a lot of kind of care that goes into it as well, in a lot of, for a lot of the time. So it's it's amazing the work that you guys do. It really is, and the difference that you can make. So
I would say one of my men was just walking into a school and them telling me that Ofsted was there. And I hadn't known until I showed up. That was it was stressful. So it was fine, and it went well. I think, I don't know. They seemed to be happy enough. So
no, good. Wow, that would have been a shock.
That is a shocking moment. That'll stick with you forever, won't it?
So.
Survived.
You've got a friend, family member, maybe someone younger, and they say kind of, you know, I'm looking to become a teacher one day. What would you say to them?
I think the instinct is they don't do it, but I think everybody says
everyone would say that.
No, I would say make sure that you're doing it for the right reasons and that, you know, you maybe get some experience beforehand, like just do it volunteering or do some after school clubs, something like that, so you actually know that you want to work with children, because it is challenging and every day is a challenge with them, so definitely just make sure that it's what you want to do.
I mean, it can lead to other things as well, you know, and I mean, I've got my brownie group and things like that as well, so like I've got some young leaders, so encouraging them and leading, and then, you know, teaching comes as well. And I kind of encourage, you know, my daughter and her friend that they could volunteer. I says, well, what will I do? What would I do? I wouldn't know what to do. I says, well, I wouldn't say go in and lead a session. I says, that's how you learn. You observe other people doing that. And you kind of say, well, I won't do it like that, or I will. Or I says, but, you know, you're not just straight in. You've got to learn, and just learn by watching other people, really. But I think, like that young girl I was talking about before, you've got to encourage them, do you know what I mean? Because, you know, like, it's got to follow on. You've got to have people to take over, you know.
And try different places as well. I think it's really important to, you might go to one place and think, this is not for me, but it's not actually the profession, it's the place, and you might be completely suited to somewhere different, so definitely try, you know, lots of different settings. And
it's really good advice, that, because I think that's where you can on supply. You do have that variety of different settings, whether that's primary, secondary, SEN, further education. You know, there's lots of different opportunities, and that's where the flexibility of supply comes in, where you can pick and choose and try different schools, settings to find what works for you. You know, and that's how we keep people in the profession. You know, because if you find a full-time job straight out of university and it doesn't go well for whatever reason, you may then end up leaving altogether. So sometimes it is worth, you know, joining Humley and then maybe, you know, trying out a few places first, just to build that confidence as well.
I mean, I was in the same place for 14 years, so I had no idea what it was going to be like. I said, I'm just going to take the plunge, you know, and I'm just going to do it. And it was real, opened up a lot of things for me.
Definitely, it does.
I was just used to the same place for 14 years.
You don't know any different, and I've got friends that are the same.
You know, and that, when I was leaving, they were all like, because I was probably one of the most longest serving by that point, because different ones had left. And this is, well, there's life outside of here. This is, well, I'm going to find out.
Definitely. Yeah, I would agree with that, definitely.
Yeah, because people can find it daunting as well, can't they? Sort of joining supply because they think, I haven't got a job, it's going to be bad, but it's not. Supply is it's there for a good option for you to try different schools and find out what you do really want to do.
Yeah, and be clear about what you want. Maybe if you've done a little bit of a certain year group or a certain place, then say, actually, can I try this? And just I think and ask the agency what you want. I know recently I've been more sort of key stage 2, and then I thought, I'm feeling a bit straight. I don't know what it is, but then I thought, actually, I haven't done key stage 1 for ages, and I really missed it, and I really like teaching key stage 1, so I kind of voice that to the
So I
agencies.
did a lot of secondary English for a while. And I said, so look, I want to go back to primary, do more primary again. So it went right.
Yeah.
And so that's been really good. And like you say, varying it, key stages and things. Yeah.
And again, just I guess with the app, if you do, you'll try. You can set your preferences, so you can change your preferences every day or whatever you know. If you are looking to do key stage 1 that you haven't done previously, you add it in there, and then hopefully those opportunities then will show and so on. So,
Yeah. And finally, just in one sentence, what does it mean to be a teacher to yourself?
Oh, that's really difficult, isn't it? That's really hard. I think it's just making a difference is the main thing, really. And you know that you are doing that. Oh, that's a long sentence. Sorry.
No,
making a difference is very important.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's thinking of the supply teacher role, it's kind of like the staff and the the students as well, and the parents as well. I mean, I think it was last year I was ended up a couple of days in a reception class, and that was they just started, so they were still crying at the door, so I was saying, come on, you're all right.
Yeah, that's it. You're often caring for the children and the parents at the same time.
They'll be fine, and they're looking at me going,
it is a tricky one, isn't it? Because especially with that, so definitely. And you remember it as a parent, you think, I don't want to drop them off, but it's just,
I did a couple of days, I think, I did a few days, and they were due to do PE, and I never really give it much thought, but it was their first PE lesson in reception.
Yeah, it's being that trusted person, isn't it? Definitely.
I'm saying, right, I mean, there was support there, but I was like, no, you didn't actually say that it was their first one, so I was like, right, but they were fine. It was good fun. And I said, I know what I'm going to do. In a circle, and we'll play these games and then run around and things. But again, it was because the things were there and the parents would know that that's what they were meant to be doing that day. So.
Organised chaos.
Yes, exactly.